Thank you. In the Gospel according to Luke, I'm only going to read a few verses from the text, but the full text that you'll be working with in Sunday school will be from chapter 21, verses 5 through 19. I'm going to read verses 5 and 6, and then 13, 14, and 15. When some were speaking about the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and gifts dedicated to God, he said, "As for these things," and that's Jesus saying, "as for these things that you see, the days will come when not one stone will be left upon another, and will all be thrown down." Then verses 13 through 15. "This will give you an opportunity to testify. So make up your minds not to prepare your defense in advance, for I will give you words and a wisdom that none of your opponents will be able to withstand or contradict." And the message is a way through chaos. And again, listen how it starts out. When some were speaking about the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and gifts dedicated to God, Jesus said, "As for these things that you see, the days will come when not one stone will be left upon another, and all will be thrown down." They were talking about their beautiful sanctuary. And this is one of the most beautiful sanctuaries that I've ever had the privilege of worshiping in. One of the things that first attracted me when I came in was the ceiling, and the ways in which the wood pattern goes all the way around and a kind of a circular formation around it. And then just the way the stained glass inside and out, just beautiful. But Jesus said, one day, all of this will be knocked down. And the question for you is, then what are you going to do? Find a new church. What will you do? You'd rebuild it. What would you do? Ha! Stand up and say that loud, please.
Try to make a fundraiser so I can rebuild it.
Try to make a fundraiser so she can rebuild it. So we got two rebuilders, and we've got one, find a new church. What do you think God would want you to do? That's what you'd want to do. What do you think God would want you to do? Yes. Find people to help rebuild it. What else? I saw a hand. It was you. Come on, say it. No? God is saying to each of us, buildings fall down all the time. Buildings burn down all the time. The church that is my home church is in Philadelphia, and in 1978, I had my baby daughter, my firstborn in hand. The church burned down and only 2 walls were left standing. The people rebuilt it. The pastor said, the building is gone. The church remains intact. They didn't go off and find another church to be a worshiper at. They said, this is our church. This is our community. And somebody said, let's rebuild. And then somebody else said, well, how are we going to rebuild? And then she said, we'll organize a fundraiser and figure it out. Well, God is saying to each of us this day that even if the very walls collapse, we have something that's even more important and more permanent lasting, and that's our faith in God. So that it doesn't matter whether we have a building or not.